would very humbly like to request Honorable Justice L. Nageswara Rao, former Judge Supreme Court of India, to please address the gathering.
Dr. Sandeep Marwa, President, Asian Education Group. Dr. Lalitya Veer Srivastava, Director, Asian Education Group. Saurabh Sharma, Director, Asian Education Group. Gurdeep Singh Raina, Asian Education Group. Dr. Prasad, Principal of the Law College, and Ashish Bharadwaj, Head, Asian Law College. Members of the faculty, and my dear students. What I heard now from Dr. Sandeep Marwa is something extraordinary. I haven't seen a person who is having a college speaking like that. And I don't think you need any other motivational speech from a judge of the Supreme Court after hearing Dr. Marwa. I was also impressed by the address given by the other directors of this institution. I'm sure that the students are in safe hands and they mean business. But I would like to share my own views about education in law and the legal profession from a practical point of it, which I have experienced being a law student, being a lawyer, and as a judge. Insofar as what you should do, what you should not do has already been spoken by my preceding speakers, and the importance of legal education and improving your individual personality and how you should be useful to the society has already been spoken about. You're all very fortunate in having the benefit of education in a prestigious school like this. I've seen the infrastructure, and I've also seen the programs that are initiated by this institution to make your course more interesting. I've attended a number of functions in various law colleges in this country, and most of them have been graduation ceremonies or interaction with students, but this is the first time I was asked to speak to students for their orientation in a law college. So when I was initially invited to come to the school, I was asking, why is it that you are asking me to come and speak to students who are just being admitted into law school? And what is it that I can speak to them, because they haven't even started their law classes. I gather from the speech of Mr. Sharma that 40 of you have just passed out from your schools, and then you have joined your 5-year law course that would be BA, LLB. There are others who might be doing a 3-year law course, and I'm sure that there are students who have already started pursuing law who are amongst the audience today. Ram Jethmalani was a legendary lawyer in this country. I hope you have heard his name. At least law students must have heard his name. He passed away about 2-3 years back at a ripe age of 98, 99. And he was attending court and arguing cases in court till the age of 95, 96 with the same vigor. He started his profession at the age of 18 in Pakistan. He was from Lahore. He used to tell us that he was getting extra energy when he was interacting with students. He was teaching in the National Law School, Bangalore. And he told me personally that he would want to spend more time with students because he says that the energy of the students rubs on him. He says, I don't want to be with old people. I feel older. I would tell you that personally, I always loved with interacting law students because students in law are the future of this country. That apart, you are the future of the legal profession. The image of the legal profession is not very good in the eyes of the public. There is an imminent need of an image building exercise within the profession itself, which is called a noble profession. Now that you are starting your law, before I speak about what is it that I can advise to you, my advice to the management is that apart from whatever they are doing now, a few suggestions that I can give to them is that please ask those students who have passed out of this college to keep visiting this college and interacting with the students. They would speak to the students about their experiences, what they should do and what they should not do, which would be actually more helpful to the students than elderly persons coming them and then giving them a piece of advice. With the powerful eloquence of your director, you must have already understood the importance of legal education and how you can serve the society with that, apart from becoming good individuals. That apart, you should also learn certain aspects from the practical experience of your seniors who have passed out from this college. Along with that, if you can call some practicing lawyers from the Supreme Court, High Court, you're fortunate enough that you're in NCR, Delhi, to interact with small groups of students, say 20, 25 students, or even one classroom, if the lawyers or the advocates of the Supreme Court who can come to the college and then spend time with the students, trying to find out what their perception is about legal education, and if they have any doubts, clear those doubts, and then if any apprehensions, so those also can be cleared by people who are actually practicing in law. You have the benefit of academicians, the faculty who are going to tell you how to go about things, but you will be more interested in learning from lawyers who are practicing in courts. That would give you a different perspective. Such interactions periodically would definitely make the profession more interesting for you all. I should congratulate those students who are commencing their legal education from this year. I am sure that you have taken an informed decision, or on the advice of your parents, that you have started on this journey of law. You can be rest assured that you have taken the best profession that is available in this country. You might have thought about various aspects like the profession being lucrative, taking care of your lives, and various other suggestions that might have come from your parents and friends which have prompted you to take this decision of joining law. But I am telling you, my own personal experience is that being an advocate, first you should know the difference between a lawyer and an advocate. Loosely used, they say lawyers and advocates. Any law graduate is a lawyer. A person practicing law is an advocate because he gets registered under the Advocates Act. Any person who is entering a legal profession has taken a very bold decision to start with, that he will uphold the Constitution of India. What is this Constitution of India? Law students know, and even students out of school, you must have been taught about the Constitution. Constitution of India is the document by which the rule of law in this country is maintained. And legal professionals are supposed to be foot soldiers of the Constitution. That is, they are the protectors of the Constitution of India. The concepts that were spoken by your director about equality, liberty and fraternity are found in the preamble of the Constitution, which have to be upheld by everybody. And it is the lawyer's duty to ensure that these rights are upheld. You have also been told about the teeming millions in this country who do not even know about their rights. So as lawyers, after you pass out from college, there is a human duty that is cast on your shoulders to ensure that at least people know about their rights before they are enforced in their favor. When I said that you are fortunate, you should think about those crores of people in this country who do not have the facility of 2 square meals a day. Though there are so many schemes that are announced by the government, whether all these schemes are being given to the people or not is something which has to be looked into. You have to keep them in mind. Ultimately, law is to be utilized for the benefit of those disadvantaged people in the society. Roscoe Pound was a legal scholar, and he was the dean of the Harvard Law School from 1916 to 1936. He propounded a principle called social engineering, and he said that lawyers are social engineers. So lawyers are not lawyers, but they are social engineers as well. And the principle that he propounded was that there should be maximum benefit to the people with minimum conflict, which means that law should be utilized for providing maximum benefits to the people of the country. He also said there are 3 ideas of a legal profession. The first one is organization, the second is learning, and the third is service to the public. The most important thing is service to the public. You have to embed yourself with this idea that I'm embarking on this journey of becoming a lawyer. I've joined a law college. You should be very proud that you have chosen this course of law. And when you plan your future, you look at the next 5 years. The next 5 years you're going to have a very good time, which will be an unforgettable time in your life. You have to enjoy this college atmosphere apart from the learning. And thereafter, when you start practicing law, you have to have this at the back of your mind, that the ultimate aim is to ensure that this law is utilized to the benefit of the poor, people who are disadvantaged. That you should not forget. I'm not saying all of you should not make money, not practice law, or even join corporate law firms. You can do whatever you feel. But otherwise, this is some responsibility which you should not forget. Coming to what is it that I can tell you as students of law, I should tell you that there is a drastic change in legal education from the time I studied law in the 1980s to what is the education now in 2022. There were very few law colleges in those days, and law was a branch of education which people used to join if they were not getting admission in any other course. After completing the graduation, they even tried MSc, MCom, MA, they don't get admission there. That is the post-graduation in arts, commerce and science. Then instead of doing nothing, sitting at home, they used to join law. Even legal education was part-time. Very few students who were attending classes, except in some university law colleges. Very few private colleges were there. Passing out of law is the easiest thing that anybody could do in those days. And thereafter, only a few out of the graduates who were passing out of college were taken to the profession of law. Some of them, being lawyers, were attending to their family businesses, and some of them would not continue for more than 5-6 years, especially girls. They used to just join whoever was there. I don't know whether you have heard about Justice Ginsburg, who was a judge of the US Supreme Court who died recently, a very famous judge. She said that she was the only woman in her class when she did law in New York. And she said now, before she died, there were 3 women judges on the bench in the US Supreme Court out of 9. So very few women lawyers were continuing their profession because of their compulsions due to matrimony. They have to move out. They were not permitted to practice, or otherwise they had to take care of their houses, etc. But that gender difference has completely vanished now. You would see a lot many women lawyers in court, girls continuing their profession, and most importantly, I have seen wherever I've gone in this country, and I've noted with interest that recent appointments to the judiciary is dominated by women. In the state where I come from, Andhra Pradesh, and even Telangana, more than 50% of the judicial officers at the subordinate level are women. And it makes a refreshing change that there is no discrimination gender-wise now in the legal profession. Insofar as the others are concerned, you would see the rapidity with which the number of lawyers is increasing. There are many law schools, and the number of persons who graduate from law schools has increased. The intensity of education also has gone up. I have seen myself as a lawyer before I became a judge in 2016. The difference between students coming from law institutes like this and the national law colleges, and those students who have done some part-time education and then they're coming and briefing us. The education that you receive from institutes like this would give you a head start as and when you start your careers. And I have seen, as I said, that the sort of assistance that I was getting from freshly passed out law students was much, much better than the assistance that I was getting from advocates on record who have been there for 10 years, 15 years, because of the discipline and because of the work they do, because of the knowledge that they have had from education in schools like this. And thereafter, as a judge, I had this habit of rotating law clerks. I had 4 law clerks, and then each year I used to change the law clerks so that other youngsters get the benefit of working with me. So I've seen about 25 law clerks in these 6 years. And mind you that the amount of assistance that I got from them, it would not have possible for me to do all these judgments without the research and without the assistance I got from them. All this is because of the basic education improving insofar as law students are concerned. Now that you're starting your career as law students, certain aspects which I should tell you is that you have been told that you have to read your law books, and there's no doubt about it. But reading law books alone is not sufficient. It's a very, very competitive world outside. To succeed in the legal profession, you have to be the best. Each one of you should carve out a niche for yourself. How is it that you're going to do? You have to start reading not only law books, but you should read history, you should read literature, you should take a lot of interest in art, you should take a lot of interest in music. You should, if you want to be a complete lawyer, it's not enough that you read Constitution, CRPC, CPC, IPC. That's not enough at all. You have to grow as an individual. That you would only when you start reading books other than law. You read whatever interests you to start with. That will actually develop a habit in you to read, and the more you read, the better it is for you. And would this be sufficient? I would say reading is not sufficient. After reading, if you are reading your law books or if you're talking about a case or whatever, you should be able to analyze what you have read. This is very important for a person who is a legal professional. And apart from the analysis, you should also have this habit of questioning. Your teachers will start telling you once you commence your courses that it is always better that you think about the opposite view. When a teacher tells you something in your class that this is a judgment that is delivered by the Supreme Court on this particular point and this is the law, then you should start thinking, why is it not the other way? In US law schools, education is in this way that a problem is posed to the students and each one of them is asked to come out with a solution. Need not be what the court has said, and it should not be. There will be an appreciation if you can take the opposite view and then try to convince that this is correct. You must have heard a saying, law is an ass. Why do they say law is an ass? All of you are now going to study law. Charles Dickens, in his book Oliver Twist, he writes, there is a character by name Bumble. He is called to court. And Bumble is told by the lawyer in his cross-examination that there is a presumption that the wife always listens to you. So why are you making an allegation against your wife? There was a matrimonial dispute between Bumble and his wife. So Bumble says that if that is the presumption, law is an ass. So that's how this law is an ass has come in. Actually, it was there much earlier, 2 centuries back, when Hastings wrote a novel that law is an ass. Because if there is some law that is made which is unreasonable or arbitrary, or some judgment which says that according to you it's not according to law because there are errors made by judges also, then you can say law is an ass. So you should have this idea of why everything that is said by a teacher is correct. It might not be that. There might be another viewpoint. So when you read the newspapers, don't be carried away by whatever is said in the newspapers. First things first, I would recommend that all of you should read the newspapers every day. You should know what's happening in the world. It's not only in the judicial world, but outside world also. That will inform you about so many aspects which you will keep learning. Make it a habit. And then when you read a newspaper, don't be carried away by whatever is said in the newspaper. Then now all judgments of the Supreme Court as well as the High Courts are available to you on the net. So follow whatever is happening. If you are following whatever is happening, then you would understand that there is a proposition of law on which there is a judgment that is delivered by the court. Then you think about it, whether this is right. Look into the provision, whether this is contrary to the Constitution, or whether there is another view possible. This will give you insight into what is right, what is wrong, and this will make you develop into a very good advocate. So start questioning. Teachers are there to answer you. So whenever they teach in class, you start questioning. You can ask them, why is it that this is correct? Questioning starts from classroom. Then you should have the boldness to start questioning. Question the executive if it is wrong. I told you that you should stand in the forefront insofar as rights are concerned. So if the lawyer is not acting as a voice to the disadvantaged sections of the society, there is nobody in the society who will going to help those downtrodden people who do not have a voice at all. So you are the mouthpiece of the society. I would only tell you that this is a very interesting phase that you have joined law college. Enjoy your college life. This is the best which is not going to come back. You have to participate in group discussions. Mr. Sharma was speaking about a law student from this school who has come from Kozhikode in Kerala, who has done very well over a period of 5 years. You should also do that. Participate in all activities. Communication skills are the most important to be in the legal profession. Speak. Don't be afraid of speaking. You participate in all programs that are conducted by the college. Whenever there is an opportunity to speak to 10 people, you start speaking. You lose the fear of public speaking. And then thereafter, you will also think about what went wrong with you when you are speaking, and then how is it that you can develop yourselves. Participate in as many moot court competitions as possible. I have seen some law students in moot court competitions doing better than the lawyers in court, judging some moot court competitions. So you will definitely do well. There's absolutely no doubt. You put in an effort, enjoy reading. Don't, I would not say that work very hard, but you should enjoy whatever you are doing. Enjoy reading, enjoy learning, and then the interest that it generates. As I was telling you about my law clerks, I have to drive them away at 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock saying enough is enough, you have been working from morning. Once you get interest, you will not stop working. And the other aspect which I told you is that urge to succeed should be there, and that would definitely come in looking at the peer pressure. Once you enter court, you see other people who are also doing very well, you want to do better than them, definitely that would keep you going. So don't ever say that, oh, this is becoming very difficult. It is not difficult at all. My own personal experience, I never thought that I would have done anything better than being a lawyer. And let me tell you, each day of my professional activity was very challenging for me. I enjoyed every day. The happiness that a person gets when you argue in court and when you succeed for the cause of your client is something which is immeasurable. No amount of money can replace it, and nothing in this world can replace it, because you have helped somebody getting justice. So this is something which you are going to enjoy. You have short-term goals. Now don't think about anything at all except finishing your legal education, coming out with flying colors. But thereafter, you pursue your careers, and then definitely you are going to be of some help to the society. I've told you about how you should be as lawyers. You have already been told how you should develop yourself as individuals by my preceding speakers. The friends who you make during these 5 years would be there for your life. Friends whom I made in law college are my best friends even now. Even your college education will get you close to people with whom you can share your sorrows, with whom you can share your happiness, with whom you are going to learn so much. You enjoy not only your success, but the success of your friends also. Jealousy should not play any part in your development. If you enjoy the success of your friend, your development would be better. So don't ever think that I don't like my friend doing very well. Group discussions are going to be a major part in your class, definitely. So when you exchange ideas with your friends, then you will know where your defects are and you learn from them. You have to ultimately grow as good individuals. That's the best thing that would happen to you. Being good lawyer is not sufficient, or being a good advocate is not sufficient. You should grow to be a very, very good individual. That you will learn from your friends. You spend more time with your friends. You also should indulge in some physical activity. That's also very important. I am told that you have facilities for that also in this institution, which is a rarity. So utilize the opportunities that are given to you. Enjoy the 5 years of law school, and such of those students who are going to go out of law school in the next 2-3 years, if they are here, I would advise you to start off your legal profession on a good note. You only think about the positive aspects of life. Don't be worried about what is going to happen. There's going to be some anxiety in your minds as to how life is going to treat you as a professional. If you work hard and if you do your best, there's nothing stopping you. With these words, I thank the management for inviting me to be amongst you. And then I would come again to speak to you in smaller groups. And I would like to hear from you more than my speaking, so that I would understand what is passing on in your mind. Today might not be the occasion. I'll come again and then see you. Thank you very much.